Rain slams against the streets like a warning that no one can escape. Neon signs flicker in the distance, buzzing under the weight of a city that never sleeps, yet tonight feels different. Empty, watching, waiting. A low hum builds beneath the silence as a black car rolls through the waterlogged avenue, its tires cutting through puddles that reflect fractured images of towering buildings. Inside, a figure sits still, her presence calm but unmistakably tense, every breath measured, every movement controlled. Samara weaving appears as a woman shaped by violence, survival, and something far deeper than revenge. Her eyes scan the darkness beyond the glass, not searching for danger, but recognizing it, because she has lived with it long enough to know it doesn't hide. It waits. A distorted voice crackles through a radio left behind on a deserted street corner. You should have stayed invisible. The words echo, carried by static and wind, as the camera cuts to shadowed figures moving across rooftops. Silhouettes armed, coordinated, hunting. Back inside the car, her hand slowly reaches beneath the seat, retrieving a compact weapon with practiced precision. No hesitation, no fear, only memory. Because this is not the first time. Flash cuts reveal fragments of a past that refuses to stay buried, blood-streaked floors, a burning warehouse, a hand reaching out through smoke, screams swallowed by firelight, and her, standing in the center of it all, untouched, but forever marked. A voiceover begins, cold and calculating. They thought she would break, they thought she would run. They were wrong. A sudden impact shakes the present. The car jerks violently as another vehicle rams into it from the side. Glass explodes outward, metal bends under pressure. The city erupts into chaos in an instant. She is thrown forward, but recovers mid-motion, unbuckling herself and kicking the door open as the car begins to slide across the wet pavement. Gunfire erupts from multiple directions. Muzzle flashes strobe through the rain like lightning trapped at street level. She moves, not panicked, not reactive, intentional. Each step calculated as bullets tear through the space she occupied moments before. She uses the environment as cover, sliding behind a concrete barrier, returning fire with precise bursts that silence one attacker, then another. But this is not a simple ambush. This is a message. A figure steps forward from the shadows unmasked, calm, composed, familiar. You were never supposed to survive the first time. The words land heavier than the gunfire. Cut to a sequence of rapid encounters. Underground tunnels lit by flickering bulbs. A high-rise office shattered by explosions. A silent corridor where footsteps echo, followed by sudden combat in tight quarters. Close quarters strikes, disarms, controlled brutality. She adapts, not just reacting to threats, anticipating them. A new voice enters the mix, distorted through a calm device. We've been tracking you since the beginning. Every move, every contact, every escape. This isn't a pursuit anymore. It's containment. The camera pushes in on her face, sweat mixing with rain. Her breathing steady despite the chaos unfolding around her. Containment implies you understand what I am. A pause. Good. Then you understand why you won't win. Cut to black. A massive explosion erupts behind her as she walks forward without looking back, silhouetted against the fireball consuming an entire structure. Debris rains down, but she never breaks stride. Montage accelerates. A knife fight inside a moving train, sparks flying as metal scrapes against metal. A rooftop chase where she leaps across gaps between buildings, landing with controlled force before continuing pursuit. A warehouse filled with armed operatives falling one by one under calculated precision. But there's a twist. Not everyone hunting her is the enemy. A wounded ally grabs her arm, barely able to stand. They are not after you. He coughs, struggling to finish. They are after what you know. Her expression changes, subtle, but undeniable. Because this is no longer about survival. It's about truth. The scene shifts to a hidden facility buried beneath the city. Rows of monitors, files marked with encrypted identifiers, a central server pulsing with data that could dismantle powerful organizations. And at the center of it all, a name tied to her past. The truth she's been running from isn't just dangerous, it's operational. A mastermind steps into frame, finally revealed in a dimly lit chamber. You weren't chosen by accident, you were engineered for this. Silence follows. Then a faint smile forms on her face, Not relief, not fear. Understanding. If that's true, then you built your own end. The final act ignites, security systems collapse. Alarms scream across multiple levels, doors lock down. Reinforcements flood corridors, and she moves through it all like a force that cannot be contained. Hand-to-hand combat becomes relentless. Tactical movement replaces chaos. Every strike lands with purpose. Every decision shifts the outcome. Explosions ripple through the structure as she reaches the core. Time slows. The confrontation becomes inevitable. Face to face with the architect of everything, you can't stop what's already in motion. The antagonist speaks with quiet certainty. No, she responds. But I can end it. A final sequence of synchronized action erupts. Lights cut out, emergency strobes activate. The environment becomes a battlefield of shadows and flashes. Movement is barely visible, but impact is undeniable. Silence returns. The aftermath reveals destruction. Systems offline, threats neutralized. The structure collapsing under its own instability. She stands among the ruins, breathing steady, wounded but upright. The rain begins again, washing over everything as if attempting to erase what just happened. A distant siren fades into the horizon. But peace does not arrive with it. Because this was never the end. Only the beginning of what comes next. Her eyes lift toward the skyline, where new signals begin to appear. Unknown, unidentified, active. Another wave is coming. And this time, they will know her name. Fade to black. Over Your Dead Body official trailer 2 delivers a relentless glimpse into a world where survival is not accidental, and every choice carries consequences that cannot be undone. At the center of it all stands a woman forged by conflict, driven by truth, and prepared to confront whatever lies ahead, no matter the cost.